shared his thoughts on the parties that have been calling for secession. Good morning, Plateau. Hello, good morning, Plateau. Okay. Oh,
I can hear you.
Oh, good. I can hear you now. Good to have you here. Thank you very much for obliging me and talking to me today.
It's a pleasure.
All right. So I've said, no one is strange to you, Plateau, and how, on Straight from the Dailies, oftentimes when we read the stories of the parties that are calling for a secession, you're always very vast and knowledgeable about that. And I wanted to ask you, because I'm going to talk to a lawyer later on, but when it comes to secession, it's planned out badly. There are countries that we know have seceded successfully. Why is it in Nigeria that it always causes anxiety and suspicion when the word secession comes up in the news, for example?
The story of secession from the Nigerian Federation, really, it has always been about whether my interest is protected or not. And the interesting part of it is that every region of the country has threatened secession at one point in time or the other. Now, we may not call it secession at that time because we didn't have the Nigerian state. For instance, after the call for self-government by Antonio Nauro, the northern region threatened to secede from Nigeria, and of course, too, in the heat of the civil war, the western region also threatened to secede from Nigeria if the East is allowed to go. And then we also saw how the Eastern region also did that, which eventually led to the Civil War. So it's been a trend. Even the minority groups too, which was also one of the things that led to the Willings Commission of 1954, which was the Minority Commission. So every other group that has always felt that, we are not protected, has always called for secession. And it raises that tension, because we know that when these people are calling for secession, oftentimes the way out of it, most times in post-independence Nigeria, has always been settling them with the presidency. We saw what panned out, the whole crisis of the June 12th, into consoling the West with the Yoruba presidency in 1999. And it seems to be the tradition. We saw how the agitations in the Niger Delta led to the emergence of a South president in 2011.
Right.
And, some have also argued that, the current crisis in the East is just a subtle
calls for secession as well.
Eastern president. So that's why it raises that tension. It raises tension on the part of those who feel, no, if these people are out to leave, there's a problem. And it raises issues also on the side of those who are also calling to leave. But on all, it's more like an elite, just elite thing, rather than elite for the mass.
Right. Now, you've talked about how, obviously, in the past, when secession has been called, is because one group has failed to marginalize or thereabout. But we all know that we're sort of like a different group of people put together. But we also know that there's, look at Brexit, for example. It wasn't violent. There was the discussions, etc. So does secession always have to come with that fear or violence or war?
Because of the nature of the states, rather modern states, and the fact that some persons will not consider it quite easier to allow another part of the country leave. Everybody wants to be head over that vast expanse of land. So it doesn't always come easy. We are seeing what is happening in Catalonia in Spain, for instance. We have also seen how it's been a tug of war, allowing the state of Palestine to be on its own. And then, of course, the Tigray region in Ethiopia, and a lot of other examples. So it's understandable when it has to resort to violence, because it seems as if violence is to be the only way to force the hand of the upper hand or of the stronger person to the table, and then bring them to the negotiation table, can then negotiate how we can live. And if we look at the history of the world, most of the countries have also succeeded at always done that, using violence as a template. Talk of Eritrea, talk of Czech Republic, or what you call Czechoslovakia,
yes,
and the like. So it has always followed that pattern. And it's because the elites who are the ruling elites who feel that, no, we can't allow you to go.
Right.
And those who are also on the other side feel, no, we would have to go. But then we'll force your hand to the table.
So in cases where maybe there's a minority who choose that they want to go, what do the elites have to gain in keeping people who have decided that they want to go? What do they stand to gain? And why is it so difficult to let people who feel marginalized go?
They stand to gain a lot. One is if there are resources, there are two ways. If there are resources in that particular place, then it means that they are fighting for the life of the resources they are getting from there. If there are no resources, the people there still form the mass. No one wants to be president over a small country. That's the truth. So everyone wants to be president over a big country. And of course, the possibility that there are certain levels that countries with the population get. So you cannot compare the president of Nigeria, for instance, with the president of Mauritius or the president of even Cameroon that also has a fairly good population. So those levels are what a lot of them consider and say, oh, we have to keep you. And then there is also something that comes with the strongman mentality, which is that the strongman mentality is that, oh, the weak man does not, decide the terms.
Right.
I decide the terms. So if I want you to go, I will be there. It will be on my terms.
Right. It
will be on my own religion, and not you telling me you want to go.
Right. Now, I wanted to also ask if Biafra had worked. Talking about Biafra will always be a sensitive, subject. But if Biafra had worked, would we still be seeing secession as such a, bad idea, or would you think that more groups in Nigeria would have seceded if Biafra had worked?
Well, if Biafra had worked, I think there would have been, more groups living. For instance, in 1967, when, of course, Awolowo met with Gowon, and in fact, one of the things that they discussed was the whole issue of, the threat by the West that, the West would also have to go if the East is allowed to go. Because you begin to wonder, okay, if they have their own country, who says we can't have our own country? Don't forget that this is all about the elite. So if they have their own country and we have our own country, we don't have to stress about going to campaign in the north. So I know that the stress of campaigning is limited to the south. So there is the possibility, a very high one at that, that a lot of other regions would have gone. But one of the things that was the debate given by the military then under Gowon was that there was going to be a denationalization of the army, so that there will be an attempt to ensure that every region has an equal representation in the army. Because then you had more persons from the northern, as this in the army. So it's an understandable thing. If I'm from, let's say, the Middle Belt, and I know that I only have to campaign for president within the Middle Belt, it reduces the stress for me. So I think, okay, I have a lesser, region to handle, and then it's our own country, and not that we'll bother to go to the, call not to campaign, come to the West to campaign and the like. So there is a possibility that the elite should have also thought, the elite in other regions would have thought it was that, well, we also have to go. And that's what we're saying. We saw how Ethiopia, Eritrea left Ethiopia, and now the Tiger region is also coming up to say, okay, we also want to leave. When Slovakia left, Yugoslavia, the two of them also thought, no, we can be alone. And then Czech Republic went its own, and then Slovakia went its own way. So, and then, of course, Serbia felt, oh, we can also leave. And then, so it's always like that. You have Serbia and Montenegro living together, and then they said, no. The thing that it's still a big other thing. Let each man go to his own tent. So it's always like that. So there would have been a higher possibility of more, other regions pulling out of the Nigerian Federation.
Oh, wow. I mean, I wish I had more time, Plateau. But thank you so much for your time and for sharing your knowledge with us on this subject. Thank you, and do have a great day. We appreciate you.
You too.
All right, then. Well, that was Plateau sharing his thoughts on secession, and of course, also looking back at where secession has happened successfully. Like I said, I'm going to be bringing on a lawyer who will be talking about the legal, angle on the call for secession by certain parties, and hopefully you'll be able to dissect that for us. But we'll take a short commercial break. When we come back, we'll be back with more on this talk, so make sure not to go away.
It's huge wins from high odds all the way with the fastest payout. Take more of our winning advantages from your deserving bets on all sports. Because with winners bets, everyone can win. What about you? Visit our website on winnersbet.ng. Use promo code BETNG and get up to 200% bonus on your first deposit. Yes, 200% bonus on your first deposit. WinnersBet. Bets for every taste.
Ìgbà náírà owó ìdákanmu ǹjẹ́ o mọ̀ wípé o lè bẹ̀rẹ̀ ọjọ́ ọ̀la tó dára lónìí pẹ̀lú ìgbà náírà nítorí náà bó o bá jẹ́ ìyálọ́jà oníṣòwò tàbí òbí lápò níròyìn ayọ̀ fún ọ wọ́n ń pè ní my pikin and I account ẹ wọ èyíkéyìí ilé ìfowópamọ́ lapo microfinance tàbí aṣojú wọn tó bá súnmọ́ yín láti ṣí àpò ìfowópamọ́ my pikin and I account pẹ̀lú ìgbà náírà kẹ́ ẹ bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní fowópamọ́ fún àwọn ọmọ yín ẹ fi owó tó tó ẹgbẹ̀rún mẹ́ẹ̀ẹ́dógún pamọ́ láàrin oṣù mẹ́ta láti yege fún ètò mádàndófò ọdún kan lọ́fẹ̀ẹ́ tó wá pẹ̀lú ìdándófò iná ìfọ́lé ní ṣọ́ọ̀bù yín tàbí àléébù ara nípa ìjàmbá ọkọ̀ ẹ fi ẹgbẹ̀rún lọ́nà ọgọ́ta náírà pamọ́ kọ́ ọmọ yín yege fún ètò ẹ̀kọ́ ọ̀fẹ́ lapo scholarship scheme bẹ́ẹ̀ bá fi ẹgbẹ̀rún lọ́nà ogóje náírà pamọ́ láàrin oṣù méjìlá ẹ máa gba èrè ìdá mẹ́ta àti mẹ́ẹ̀ẹ́dọ́gbọ̀n lórí ìfowópamọ́ yín àpò ìfowópamọ́ my pikin and I account wà fún àwọn tó fẹ́ fowópamọ́ fún ọjọ́ ọ̀la tó dára fún àlàyé sí ẹ pè 0813-984-0230 tàbí WhatsApp number 0815-055-3264 ìgbésẹ̀ àti ìlànà wà lápò fún ìgbé ayé tó gbòòrò.
You don't wait for life. You go to meet life. It's not about how many chances you get. It's what you do with what you've got. Morning after morning, cup after cup. Start strong, finish strong. With the stimulating aroma and rich, creamy taste of Nescafe 3-in-1. It all starts with a Nescafe.
My people, better don land. Make una come see ogbonge cable wey dem manufacture for we obodo Nigeria. Na Pure Cables. Pure Cables na correct electrical cable wey dey reliable, dependable, and the people wey dem make am call dey safety conscious. Pure Cables get original copper and aluminium cable for different sizes dem wey you fit use for electrical wiring level for anywhere. Whether na your house, abi na your office, the price nko e no dey tear pocket at all. Nationwide distribution don start. For more information, call 0808-030-3257. 0808-030-3257. Pure Cable and Wire Limited. They have Fritz Compound, Fort Gate, 122/132. Oshodi Apapa Expressway, Iyano Solo Bus Stop, Lagos. Pure Cables, Nigerian Electrical Contractors endorser, SON approver. Pure Cables, na Yubico.
Khalif, ṣé kọ́ọ̀pù bọ́ǹvìtà kan ṣoṣo tó kù nìyẹn ni? Bẹ́ẹ̀ni. Ó yá gbà, ó lè mú. Ó tì ó, ìwọ mú. Rárá, ní kò gbà. Ìwọ mú sí.
Ẹ̀yin méjèèjì lẹ máa rí mu nítorí wọ́n ti pò èyí tó máa tó gbogbo ilé. Tá a bá túbọ̀ fìfẹ́ hàn síra wa, bẹ́ẹ̀ la ṣe ń tan ẹ̀mí ìṣọ̀kan tó wà nínú oṣù Ramadan pẹ̀lú àfikún ìdámẹ́wàá nínú ìdí Cadbury Bonvita ọlọ́gọ́rùn-ún 5 gíráàmù kí ìṣọ̀kan náà túbọ̀ ń pọ̀ sí ni. Ramadan Kareem.
Working. There are certain things that we've seen happen or seen in the newspaper